It does make me so happy to see so many of you that I haven't seen in such a long time. And also to people I don't know, welcome. Uh, this is a momentous occasion for me. Uh, I felt called to and pulled to write this book. Um, in the midst of the chaos and turmoil of our world, which can be so overwhelming, uh, to feel what is it that I can contribute. And this called to me to take what I've experienced from my life and find a way to share it as authentically as I can with the hopes that it can be of support to people. And that is my deep hope, that it can be of support. And um, so I'm really excited to share and to have people here from so many different parts of my life. Um, Many veterans who I've worked with over the years, different wildland firefighters are here, people from Spain, from New Zealand, from Canada, from Mexico, people who have studied with Charlotte and worked with Charlotte for many years, many sensory awareness teachers. Uh, so it's a great joy to feel people coming here together. Um, And as I was looking for what I wanted to read from the book, uh, I thought, I kind of like this book. There's actually more that I want to read that I don't have time to share. But I will read from different parts of the book, and I will share a video of Charlotte. Today would be her 125th birthday. Uh, so I feel her spirit here, present. Um, And I feel such gratitude for her and for all the people who, some people are here who let me tell your stories. Other people helped me create and craft this book. My family, my friends who've supported me all along in this journey. So I'm grateful for all of you and I'm so happy that you're here and that we can, I hope, support each other to be true to ourselves and to give the best we have to our chaotic, um, suffering world. Y para las personas que están aquí que hablan español, lo siento mucho que no voy a poder traducir lo que estoy compartiendo. Pero cuando el libro sale en español, lo haremos otra vez. Y esto sería en español. Pero me da mucho gusto que están aquí. And I'm just saying that for people who speak Spanish, I'm really sorry that I can't translate what I'm saying. There's not time for me to do that. But when the book comes out in Spanish, we'll do a different book reading in Spanish. Um, so I'd like to start with some, well, I'll tell one story and then I want to start with some sensing. Um, I went to Green Gulch Farm originally to study with Charlotte, my sensory awareness teacher. And I didn't know anything about Zen. I didn't know anything about meditation. I went for a 4-month workshop with Charlotte. And one of my jobs was to take care of a man named Harry Roberts. And Harry became an important teacher for me. He was somebody who supported Zen Center. He was a very crusty, cantankerous, wise person. And he had broken his back. And many of us at Zen Center were sent to help him, cook for him, drive him, do what he needed, and also learn from him, which I feel so lucky that I was able to do. And one day I went to see Harry, and Harry said to me, "So, you want to know what this meditation stuff's all about?" And I did very much want to know that. And he said, "I'll tell you." He said, "It doesn't matter if you sit on one of those little round black cushions or you go sit on a log in the woods. The first thing, not the most important thing, but the first thing is you have to stop all the busyness in your head. The second thing is you have to find your song. The third thing is you have to sing it." that's the best definition of meditation I ever heard. Uh, and so for me, um, writing this book is part of singing my song. And I hope it can encourage everybody to find and sing our songs because our songs are so needed. So I would like to start just with a few moments of sensing and invite everybody just to land, let your eyes close, and feel how you're sitting here in this moment with people from many, many different places. All of us brought here for one reason or another. And just noticing how you're breathing in and how you're breathing out. These molecules of air that have been breathed in and out by all human beings who've ever lived on this planet, and by all these forms of life. Feeling how this air you're breathing in is also being breathed in by people in all these different places. This air we're breathing out that's absorbed by trees and bushes and marshes and oceans. And transformed into oxygen that nourishes our lives. This gift of being present, this very precious gift of being alive in the midst of all that's happening. And this gift of being together. This gift of honoring the nature that we are. The inseparable connections to all of life that we are. And when you're ready, just letting your eyes open and coming together. It's amazing to me that the air we're breathing is the same air that everyone who's ever lived has breathed. You know, today would have been Charlotte's 125th birthday. So I'd like to start off with reading about Charlotte. It's from the second chapter called The Only Moment We Have. This is it, folks. This is the only moment we have right now. How we spend our days is how we spend our lives. That observation from Pulitzer Prize-winning author Annie Dillard inspires me to pay attention to the many choices I am making throughout each day. In fact, I might rephrase that to say, how we spend our moments is how we spend our lives. It is in this moment, the only moment, that we can open the door to the possibilities presenting themselves, and to the joy, fulfillment, and wonder of being alive. In workshop after workshop, with sparkling eyes and a big grin, makes me cry. I don't know why, because I'm touched. Charlotte would suddenly pause and dramatically announce, "Every moment is a moment." Such a simple yet powerful statement. I probably heard her say this thousands of times. And yet, with each declaration, she was present with gusto, glee, and renewed wonder. This was her way to say, wake up and value your life. Don't throw away the precious moments you have. Understand that each moment is the only moment and will never come again. Charlotte was asking us to listen to what that moment is asking of us and to choose how we are going to answer. Will we remain trapped in the limitations of our past and fears for the future, or open to the potent and fresh possibility abiding in each moment? Learning how to open to and respond fully to the only moment we have was the essence of Charlotte's teaching. So I'd like to let Charlotte speak for herself and share a video. Charlotte was 100 years old in this video. She was leading a workshop in Santa Barbara with Stefan Lang. And this video is about 10 minutes long. So before I turn the video on, again, just inviting you to be present, and just to be present for whatever responds in you. Also, Charlotte was very hard of hearing, and she also was German. So many times people can't understand her, but you'll see their subtitles. And when Charlotte wanted to hear her students, she would put on a heavy headset, back then, that's all that there was, and have a long microphone that she would spread out so people could speak into the microphone. So you will see her wearing her headset. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, let's start that again. I wanted to get it full screen. I'm not sure why it's not. There's a techie person who can tell me what I should do. That's why it's not going full screen.
Oh, yeah, it's full screen for us.
Oh, is it full screen for you? Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
It isn't full screen for me, but I wonder if you begin it, if there will be an option to make it full screen.
Oh, maybe it's not. It's not full. Maybe it's big.
You see the
Oh, well,
on,
this is,
on my
It
end, it
is
looks pretty full screen.
it is big enough.
okay, well, hopefully you can see it well. I could maybe just stretch it. Let me see how I can do that. Full screen. Okay.
it might be how you're viewing, so it could be if you're viewing.
It should be full screen now.
It is for us.
Be blessed of being there for what you are doing. It's the first moment of awakening, being there for what you are doing. So it's a very demanding mistress, sensing. Who likes it? Who fears us too much? Yeah, so I cannot change it. It is what it is, what it is. When you say this, yeah, it is what it is, what it is. Oh God. Feeling to which degree am I present? To which degree do I listen what I feel is happening? What could perhaps ring a bell in me and make me live differently when you are going home. But it might change you. So we don't know. Everybody of us has a desire to be really understood. Who knows what that means? And when we meet people and meet situations, we can feel whether we are open for really understanding what is happening and with whom we are speaking and what the attitude of the person is and how my response. Every moment is a moment of learning. It's not a moment of growing habits, but a moment of learning and a moment of a newness of possibility to live in this world and do what I feel is needed to live in this world. You know, so this is, it's not comfortable. When you want to be comfortable, go to another address. When you want to come closer to the real connection with things, then you can stay here. So it means really our own devotion, no matter how difficult it may be, to come to a true connection with things and people, to have learned how patience can work, how attention can work, how what does not work. You know, when we expect from people things which we don't ourselves give, who knows this kind of thing? And how this person reacts to this person, and how this person reacts to this person. So all this, we become probably a little more stable and patient and inviting, so that you can listen to someone who may stutter, and you listen and you may find that in the stuttering is the greatest truth of a person, but this person only stutters. When you only feel, I don't want to listen to someone who studies, you are superficial, go away. But when you feel that I would like to hear what the person who studies says, you might find very important truths. So means business. It means that we ourselves wake up and change with whom we do something and against whom we do something and for what we are doing something. Feeling, is this really what I want? Is this really what feels important in my life and maybe to the life of others? So it would be very wonderful if you would try this out for yourself and learn from it. And you can learn from your own experiences what is needed to reach another person, to be there for a situation, no matter how difficult it may be to be there for a situation, to really mean business, as we call it. Yeah. So if you would have nothing else from this work in Santa Barbara, to listen more carefully to other people and to feel what is needed for the other and for the world and to attend to it would be wonderful. Probably most of us come to this work and think, oh, I want to lose the pain in my foot. Oh, I want to become more beautiful, but not so much. Oh, I want to become more awake, more present. So this may be like a thunderbolt, you know. Say that, thunderbolt, yeah. Thunderbolt, is that a word? Is it a word? Thunderbolt. Yeah, when you take your fist, it's thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt.
On the floor, yes, thunderbolt, yeah. And every moment is a moment, so that when you begin to do this, it begins to act mad. Yeah. And then and you think most and it begins to become better. And then boom, boom, yeah. Boom, boom. Yeah. Boom. And the whole belly, deep in your belly, in your feet, is there, but yeah. Yeah. And so if this becomes a little more your way of living, you will lose your flat feet. And you will get your feet.
So that's a offering from Charlotte that feels very present and timely. I like the hearts coming up. um, and you know, when I was listening to Charlotte talk about listening to people stutter, I thought about how is it to hear people who have different political beliefs that we do, different ways of living in the world, and how do we find a way to listen to each other? So these questions, you know, they don't end, they're ongoing. And how we take them to heart ourselves and integrate them into our lives. We live in very different situations, but the challenges, we're faced with huge challenges all over our planet. And one of the people who inspires me so deeply is my friend Jarvis Masters. Jarvis is somebody I met 28 years ago. When I turned 19, I started studying with Charlotte. When Jarvis turned 19, he was sent to San Quentin prison, convicted of armed robberies. And while he was in prison, and you can read about Jarvis. Jarvis has written 2 books of his own, and David Sheff has written a wonderful book about Jarvis. I can put them in the chat later. And I highly recommend reading about Jarvis. And you can also learn more about Jarvis at freejarvis.org. Because Jarvis, while he was in prison for armed robberies, a prison guard was killed. And Jarvis was convicted of sharpening the knife used in the killing. He didn't do that, but he's been in prison for over 40 years and has gone through one appeal process after another that he continues to lose. And his case is actually before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals now. And with all that Jarvis has lived through, he finds a way to practice and be present and appreciating life and using his own ability as deeply as he can. So I wrote quite a bit about Jarvis in this book, and I want to read a little bit about Jarvis. This is in the chapter Seeds of Resilience. For Jarvis Masters, resilience has been the key to survival. The story of his life has become an inspiration to people around the world. And knowing him has shown me that no matter what circumstances we find ourselves in, we can discover how to respond in a way that gives our life purpose and meaning. And Jarvis became a practicing Buddhist in San Quentin. And for years, often late at night or very early in the morning when other men were asleep, Jarvis would roll up a blanket and sit in meditation on the floor of his cell. Sometimes he would even meditate during the day in the midst of the cacophony of sound, shouting, calling out, laughing, cursing, from the over 600 men in the 5 tiers of cells piled on top of each other. Even in the face of the demeaning conditions of prison, this meditation practice, returning to breath, finding connection to aliveness in the moment, has not only helped him find resilience, but also opened his heart. Despite the extreme disappointment of an innocent man denied appeal after appeal, despite the heartbreak of the suicides, murders, and executions of imprisoned friends, despite all that he cannot control in his life, despite it all, he has found freedom, humor, and open-heartedness. Over and over again, Jarvis has watered the seeds of resilience rather than bitterness. In one of our many conversations, I asked Jarvis how he was able to open his heart, to conjure up love rather than hate, in the midst of the injustice and inhumanity of the prison system. He said, I had to. I had to in order to survive. When I was filled with hate, it was as though I was tethered outside of my body. All the focus of my energy was flowing in a tight stream away from me. When I conjured up love, it was as though I was coming home, back inside my body to who I am. Jarvis had a Tibetan teacher, and he said, when I met Rinpoche, I was not in a good place. When I spoke to him, he said, you'll never be able to beat the walls down, and you'll never be able to cut through the bars. So if you can't do that, all you have to do, Jarvis, is move them out of the way. When he said that, I understood exactly what he meant. You don't have to see the bars if you don't need to. You can focus on your practice. Everything you thought was restraining you or keeping you from being the person you are, all you have to do is move all those negativities out of the way. This is something I think about every day when I get up. How can I move these things out of my way so I can find myself in a better place? And it is not every day that I am able to do that, but that is the practice. And I love that idea of trying to reset my mind every day when I get up in the morning. What an invitation for all of us to begin our days resetting our minds, moving the negativities out of the way, and opening with freshness to greet the opportunities awaiting us. It is Jarvis's ability to find and honor freedom in the midst of imprisonment that lets his spirit fly. At every moment we make that choice, to honor and embrace life, to support our dreams and aspirations, rather than to turn away from them. And at that choice point lie the seeds of our resilience and the direction of our own life. No matter what each of us may be facing in our lives, we have the opportunity to move the bars out of the way and reset our minds. We have the opportunity to let our spirits fly. When we are connected to breathing, to the sensations in our bodies, we can be present for whatever is in our hearts and minds. By being aware of what might be constricting us, we can open to what is most essential, vital, and enlivening. As we face our own fears and the tensions and conditions of our lives, and as we navigate through the dangerous conditions we are creating on our planet, we might be inspired and encouraged by Jarvis's aliveness, how he continues to laugh, to find peace in meditation, to remain true to his deepest self, to keep watering the seeds of resilience. And this is an opportunity for all of us in every moment. I've spent a lot of time over the last, who knows how many years, 18 years or so, working with military veterans. And it's been some of the most moving and meaningful, inspiring work of my life. And I also think at this time, with so many wars happening around our planet and so much suffering, and also what it does to people in their lives and the impact on people's lives. And in the book, I've written about many different veterans. And, again, I'm grateful for all the people who've let me share their stories and how much I've learned. And I want to share a little bit about one of those veterans. This is in the chapter, There's Nothing My Heart Can't Hold When Open. In the dark of the early morning, I enter my office and light a candle on the altar, where a large wooden Buddha with a gentle and kind face is seated. The fragrance of fresh flowers and incense fill the room. On one side of the altar is a white scarf, a kata, gifted to me by the Tibetan teacher at the Black Mountain Retreat Center, that for many years hosted the opening and closing retreats of the Veterans Path 4-month anchor program. The Lama offered the ceremonial scarf in honor and recognition of the profound changes he had witnessed in the veterans who participated. On the other side of the altar hangs a long gray robe lined with thick brown synthetic fur. A thin beige ribbon sewn along the bottom and down the center of the back creates a simple design. This robe, also a gift, came from the city of Fallujah in Iraq, the site of what has been considered the bloodiest battle of the war. On this cold early morning, I gently take the robe down and wrap it around me. As I sit sheltered in its warmth and watching the leaves on the bush outside my window flutter in a gentle breeze, I wonder, what sounds and images surrounded this robe in Fallujah? What hands and hearts created it? What experiences held them as they cut the material and sewed the stitches that hold this robe together? Who tilled the fields and grew the cotton for its fabric, then sat down for dinner with their family when bombs were not dropping and guns were not strafing the air? Who, before whole blocks of buildings were destroyed, hung it up in their small shop and waited as they drank a cup of tea for the customer who would come to buy it? What were the personal stories of those, in quotes, insurgent soldiers fighting and dying in Fallujah? What were the games they played as children? What brought laughter and tears into their lives? What were the stories of the U.S. Marines who battled their way into Fallujah? What games did they play as children in the hills of Kansas or the bayous of Louisiana or the city streets of Atlanta, Georgia? What brought laughter and tears into their lives? What lives were lost and changed forever in that town where this robe, now on my body, was made? As I sit in my peaceful office, sheltered from the cold by this robe that came to me through war, I am held in the complexity of warmth and heartbreak. I think about all of the Ukrainians, Russians, Palestinians, Israelis, Somalis, Yemenis, people in Iran, and other people caught up in war all over the world. Who were they as children? And what will their children have to carry for generations from what is happening now? And I think of the Marine veteran who carried this robe back from Fallujah, along with the depth of pain he has had the courage to transform into love. When Daniel Mercado, Danny, first came to a one-day Veterans Path event, he remained reserved and guarded throughout the day, mostly just watching. So I was surprised when he applied for our 4-month intensive men's anchor program. It would begin with a 5-day retreat, end with a 3-day retreat, and in between include weekly mindfulness practices, monthly small group meetings, and individual check-ins with a facilitator. I wondered if he was really up for that. But what he said during his application interview gave me a deeper understanding of both his reasons and his reserve. While on active duty as a gunnery sergeant, Danny was deployed twice into combat zones, first in Bosnia and then in Iraq. When I came back from Bosnia, I was not the same person, he told me. I was dealing with a lot of evil stuff. I came back scared of what human beings can do to each other. And Iraq, it was really bad. Evil. You could just taste it. So Danny stayed. He didn't leave. And he stayed in the retreat. and it's challenging for everybody to stay present. With so much pain, anger, and grief stored up inside him, staying at the retreat was very uncomfortable. We were encouraging the participants to drop in, to drop down, to listen to what was there inside them that wanted to be felt and met. We were guiding them to notice and trust what they were sensing in their own bodies, and let those sensations guide them towards what was asking for their care and attention. One morning during one of our last large group sessions, I had decided to read aloud one of my favorite children's books. That's Good, That's Bad by Marjorie Kyler. I have found in my work with veterans that some wonderful stories for children can offer valuable teachings that cut right through to the heart of what is important, in a fun, accessible, and non-threatening way. Most of the men were eager and excited to listen to the story. They enthusiastically curled up on the floor near where I was reading so that they could see the illustrations better. As they offered themselves to the healing innocence of listening to a children's story, Danny remained seated in the back of our large meeting room with a look of disgust and incredulity on his face, his arms folded tightly against his chest. I could just imagine the thoughts going through his mind. What in the world is wrong with all of these grown military men? What are they doing listening to a children's story? And what is she doing reading one to them? I have to admit that I had to restrain an inner chuckle as I watched his annoyance grow with each page, as the men began with gusto, echoing back the story's refrain. That's good. No, that's bad. Or that's bad. No, that's good. And it goes on and on like that. Looking at things in our own lives, that bad things happen and we think they're terrible and something good comes out of it. And good things happen and we think everything's going to be good and something bad happens. And it keeps going like that. So Danny stayed throughout the whole retreat. And then about a month later, he invited me to have breakfast with his wife and him. And he was gleefully expressing his first impressions of me, which were that I didn't have a clue about veterans and what they have lived through. And he couldn't believe that I was reading a children's book to veterans. But then he admitted with a sheepish grin that after the retreat, he kept thinking about the message in the book. And it reminded him to see life events with a wider perspective. And that was helpful. So we all laughed. And 2 years later, Danny and his wife adopted a baby. And 2 years after that, I got a text from Danny one day. And it had a photo of him and his son on a beach, sand swirling in the air in front of Danny's face. His message: Xavier and I throwing good vibes and prayers. Oh, that's good. No, that's bad. I got sand on my face. Oh, that's bad. No, that's good. It scares the bugs away. Danny had transformed that moment of reaction and resistance to the message in a children's book years before into a reclamation of the innocence he thought he had lost, and into a celebration of new life with his son. You know, and one of the things that has been so meaningful and moving to me in working with veterans is the love that people have for each other, the love that people have for life, even in the midst of so much suffering and so much harm, and the commitment to heal. And we can all have that. We can all keep turning towards what brings us alive. So we have 12 minutes. If anybody has a question or anything you'd like to share, I have one last thing that I'll read. And I also invited everybody to bring a toast, something to toast with. Wonderful. So we'll also end with a toast to how we all are contributing to bringing more stability into our world. Anybody have any question that you'd like to ask or anything that you'd like to say? If you do, just unmute. Well, that's fine with me. I just wanted, because I said I would open it up, I wanted to honor that. But how about if we just take
I'm
a moment?
unmuted. I'm unmuted.
What's that?
I'm unmuted. I have a question for you.
Sure.
How do you feel now that you're at this place?
Thank you. I feel really moved, and I'm so moved also to be with everybody who's come here today. I feel it's powerful to sing our song. It's powerful to find what is it that we can contribute and to commit ourselves to it. And Shoshana, who's here, worked so much with me to craft this and give birth to this. And James, thank you for your your forward. And but people, and so many people here, you've touched my life so deeply. And to be able to integrate what I've learned and to share it just I feel really lucky. And I hope this can move people. I hope this can support people. And sensing, which has been the gift I've been given since I was 19, I feel like it's needed more and more to land in our own bodies and to know that when we land in our own bodies, it gives us ground so that as things are so shaky, we find the response that's authentic and we find how we can be present and how we all need to step forward. So I'm moved, I feel like this came from my heart and came from my life experience that is filled with the life experience of many people. I hope I can do it honor. I hope that I have honored the people who have touched me. I hope I honor Charlotte. And Elsa Gindler, who lived through World War II and taught and offered this practice all through that war in Germany. That we have to find what sustains us and what helps open us to value this life because it's precious. So I'd like to just invite us again to take a moment to sit, maybe let your eyes close. And if anything touched you, to let yourself be touched. One of the things that feels so important is not to be afraid of pain. To let our hearts break open so that we can be alive for joy and pain. And maybe come just for a moment with your own tenderness to yourself, perhaps bringing your hands over your own heart. And know how important being tender with ourselves is. And how much our world needs tenderness. And whatever you want, letting your hands come down and letting your eyes open. Just debating between reading the very end of the book or the end of the introduction. And I'm just going to read the end of the introduction. Return to our senses is a celebration of the fact that in each moment we have the opportunity to be present and to let our energy rise to choose life over and over. It is through our openness to respond in the midst of change that we can find stability in the midst of instability. There is no place we can live our lives other than in the moment. Every moment offers a new possibility for responding to what is being asked of us and what is being offered to us. Our response opens the door to how we affect the world around us. As you journey through this book, may you be inspired to fully savor the precious moments life offers you and find the fulfillment of discovering and sharing your embodied joy and capacity with our world. So, I think somebody put where you can buy the book. It's available now. It's shipping out, and I hope that it can be nourishing for you. And if it is, that you also share it with others. And yeah, to learn about Jarvis, thank you, Lee, for putting that in there. You can look in the chat. You'll see ways to find out more about Jarvis and also where you can get the book. But if you brought something to toast, bring it. And this is a toast to how each of us is committed to bringing stability into our world, one moment at a time, to honor the moments that we have, to honor this precious gift of life. And thank you so much for being with me as I'm launching this book into the world, giving birth to it. Thanks for accompanying me. L'chaim. Salut.
L'chaim. Cheers.
Prosit. Charlotte always used to say prosit.
Salute, Lee. Salute, salute.
Thank you for these moments, Lee.
Thank
A moment is a moment. These were precious.
I'm so glad.
Go on.
Thanks, Ginger. So please feel free to open up, talk to each other if you want, or to leave. And
Congratulations. Congratulations, and may the book go far and wide and deep, and may your spirit continue to go far and wide and deep. And
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, everybody. What a gift!
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Lee.
Congratulations, Lee.
Gracias, muchas gracias.
Felicidades.
Qué lindo verlas.
Felicidades, Lee.
Gracias por
Gracias, everyone.
Besitos
Thank
y
you so
abrazos.
much, Lee. So much love to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Gracias, Lee.
Hasta pronto.
Felicidades, Lee.
Gracias, gracias.
Love you, Ma. Bye.
I love you too,
Yes.
Jason.
Celebrate, Lee.
Sí, Jason. Samuel.
It's been so lovely. Remember, Charlotte used to say, "Who's against it?"
Yeah, really. She did.
I'm entitled for it. Thank you so much, Lee.
Congratulations, Lee.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to see the different people that are here. It's really a gift. Hi, Arnie. I hadn't seen you. And Phyllis, wonderful to see you. Makes me really happy to see everybody and meet again.
I feel touched, Lee. Very touched. Each time I also get something from you, I feel deeply, deeply touched.
Oh, thank you.
Just to let you know. Although we hardly meet each other, but you are so close to me.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
beautiful, Helga. Thank you. I feel
Very
the same
excited
way.
to
Adios,
jump in.
bye-bye. Adios.
Claudia, welcome.
Bye-bye.
Adios. Bye.
Beautifully.
Marky, you're here. I thought you were doing your talk.
Porque no tengo micrófono. Felicidades.
Gracias.
Ay, Olga.
Beautiful people. Beautiful people.
Thank you, Lee. Love you.
Love you too. Wonderful to see all of you.
I can't wait to get your book, Lee.
I'm glad. Let me know what you think.
Hi, Lee. I'm very excited to dive in.
Wonderful.
I want a signed copy. I want a signed.
Okay.
Me too.
First week of May.
We can always buy the book for our libraries and donate them into the bookshops at the libraries. That's
Yeah.
That would be wonderful.
Get it out.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I hope that it can be shared and that it's useful to people.
Yeah, I feel so
I just feel so proud of you for putting this together and the incredible generosity that you show up with day after day. It means so much.
Thank you, Natasha. That's very touching. Thanks a lot.
And how hard she worked. I tell you, right? She cried through it. She worked this. It reads so beautifully, and she worked it and brought her heart into all of these stories, right? Day after day, in between all of her other teaching, etc. Really,
This is Shoshana who has journeyed through this book, and Shoshana has a huge part of this book. She helped me. So thank you, Shoshana. What a joy to work with you and to give birth to this together.
Ditto.
Congratulations, Lee. Love you, and thank you for being such a light in this world.
Oh, thanks, Chad. Thank you. Christine, it's wonderful to see you.
It's good to see you. Thank you, Lee. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lee,
It's
thank
such a
you for
gift to
that.
see everybody.
Thank you for that beautiful video of Charlotte. That was precious.
Wonderful. And we're going to be making a lot more. We have this, the films that Sasha did, and we're going to be putting together a lot more to share her wisdom and her aliveness.
Oh, good.
And her passion to wake people up. She had such a passion, I mean, for me, watching that video, and I loved, there she is 100 years old, and she just wants people to wake up and go boom, boom, it's just, don't waste time, wake up.
I've got to tell you a little story. The month before she was going to turn 100, I was in Mexico with her in a restaurant. She had climbed the stairs up to the top of the roof for the restaurant. And I was sitting beside her and I asked her, "So Charlotte, what do you want for your 100th birthday?" And she went like this, "More life."
That's great, Marsha.
Well, Lee, you have the same passion. You may not know that it's the same passion, but you have that. And it's beautiful to just share that with you.
Thanks, Lynn. So sweet to see you and Anna. Yeah. Yeah, what a gift, just to be together with people from so many different ways what brings us together, and so many people, who knew Charlotte and people who don't know Charlotte, but have touched each other. Yeah, I'm really touched. I'm so happy to have this opportunity. That's a sweet thing, Evan. Thank you.
Gracias, Lee. Este libro va a abrir corazones. Tanto amor que has puesto en él y tu presencia. Eres admirable. Gracias.
Gracias, Tony. Te quiero muchísimo. Y qué bueno que estás aquí. Well, I actually have to go pack a suitcase to go get on an airplane. Thanks, Nikki. Thank you so much. Nikki's over in New Zealand. But I'm so happy to see people, and I send love and gratitude to all of you. Hola, Olga, no te había visto. Alicia, I'm so happy to see you.
Good job, Lee.
Thank you,
Matt.
Good trip. Have a good trip.
Thank you. Bye, Will.
Bye. Gracias.
Congratulations. I can't wait to read your book.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Bye, everybody.
Mil gracias.
Congratulations, Lee.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Nice to see you.
Bye, Lee. Thank you.
Bye, Nikki. Good to see you. Oh, Mercedes, qué gusto. Qué gusto verte.
Igualmente, muchas gracias, Lee. Te mando un abrazo.
Y Gloria también, qué gusto. Y ahora las dos están juntas en la pantalla, con Marcela también al otro lado.
Sí, un abrazo.
Claro que sí, tanto inglés, pues ahora español.
Much love to all of you. So nice to see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, Lee.